Almas madam, shall we start now? Good morning, kids. I hope all of you are doing very, very fine by staying at home. No, I think this would be the happiest period for you all. है ना? Staying at home, enjoying the rainy season, and eating crispy samosas and bhajias prepared by your mom or your grandmom, and sometimes even by your dad also. है ना? And I'm 100% sure you are enjoying this period at your homes by staying safe. Staying safe with the staying safe or staying away with your studies. But no, but this should not go on too long, no? So that is why we are here to continue with our work and to do our to perform our responsibilities. As a student, you are also performing your responsibilities, and as teachers, we are also doing our duties. So now, as all of you may be knowing, because in the last 3 lectures, you may have come through me, that myself, my name is, you can see on the screen, that is Pathan Arifa Khatun. And I am from Worli Seaface English Municipal Secondary School. And today, you also know that why I am here. I am here for you for teaching science subject. But in science subject, I am teaching you since last lectures, Science 1, that is Science and Technology Part 1. But which chapter we are going to study here now today? Which chapter we are going to study here today now, Science 1? That is chapter number 5, Acids, Bases and Salts. Acid, bases and salts. This is your chapter number 5. Now, most of the time you may have come through the word acids, but I'm not sure that you may have come through some another words that are the bases and like bases only. Salts also you may be knowing. And acids, you may have heard them. You may have heard them, but not actually come, not may have actually seen it. But I'm sure by looking at this pic, you are very clear that you have tested all these fruits. You have tested all these fruits. Now, in the previous chapters also, maybe in your 8th, 7th, when you go back and back, you may have come through these words. But yeah, I'm not sure whether you remind it or not. But today we will revise them again and we'll learn something very new and very interesting. Very new and very interesting, and you will be very happy, or you will feel, hey Baba, these all things were around us. All the things were around us, and whenever I found in the book that words looks to be um, that words look to be horrifying you. You get scared of that words like acid, bases, and salts, and their chemical reactions. है ना? Now we have earlier seen that most of our food stuff, they have a particular taste. Whatever we eat, they have a particular taste. Now, some tastes are, some fruits have sour taste, some fruits have sweet taste, some have bitter taste also. And there are also some compounds, or there are also some substances in our surrounding that they taste bitter, that they feel, they feel like slippery, soapy. Let us take the example of the daily soap only. And nowadays we are using it very much, no? We are using it very much. Washing our hands. Do you? You should. You should wash your hands after taking a break of few hours. So only Corona will go away from our lives. Corona has taken a very important place in our lives, no? So wash your hands nicely, properly, as shown in the various TV ads, and stay safe. Okay, that is another part. But I came through the word soap, therefore I felt, okay, I should tell you this. Okay, now these are the substances which we found daily. But when these substances are studied scientifically, since we are studying science, So each and every sentence we have to define it scientifically only. Scientifically only. So it was found that they contain acidic and basic substances respectively. We have also learned on easy and safe method of using an indicator like litmus to identify the acid and bases. These fruits you can see here like oranges. There is one. There are grapes, oranges, and also there you can see sweet lime and this apple. So some food items such as lime, orange, and curd have sour taste. Some foods they have sour taste. Then when you will eat an orange, how it tastes? It is sour. When you eat grapes, how it will taste? Sour. When you eat a sweet lime, it tastes sour. When you take some drops of lemon on your tongue or have a lemon water sometime for your most of the time we have this nimbu pani. You know, whenever we travel and whenever we feel very like exhausted, so we take nimbu pani and that also tests are. So these are the tests of particular substances or the fruits. Now the seawater. Seawater contains edible salt. Yes, we know that. The salt which we use in our daily lives, it comes from the sea only. Of course, it comes from the sea only. And it is edible. Edible means which you can uh, take in your use, which is good to eat, which is safe for eating. So the seawater contains edible salt. Here's even uh, table given here, which is from your textbook only, page number 58. There are some name of the compounds. And see here, we have learned about the basic radical and acidic radical in the previous lesson also. That is measurement of matter. And if you'll go through the first compound, that is the hydrochloric acid. So it has hydrochloric acid, it is an acid. It is an acid. And it has the basic radical H plus cation and acidic radical Cl minus, that is anion. Some compounds are seen to have H plus as the basic radical in their molecules. These are called acid, and those who have OH as their acidic radical in their molecule, they are called as bases. These ionic compounds which have a basic radical other than H and other than OH are called salts also. So this table contains acid, bases as well as salt. Okay. Now let's move to our main topic today that we shall start with the textbook today is ionic compounds. It is a recap of ionic compound. If you remember, I hope you may be knowing or you may be remembering the word ionic. Ions, cations, and ions. You know, ionic compound recapitulation. When you go through your textbook, page number 59, when you go through your textbook, page number 59, you will find there the formation of the compound NaCl. What is NaCl? NaCl is nothing but your common salt, which you use in all our daily food recipes. Food recipes, salt. NaCl is nothing but common salt. So this picture shows the formation of the compound NaCl and its electronic configuration. I have used this peak because here it is shown one by one in one peak only. In the very first peak, if you'll go through, you will find the first one is sodium, the electronic configuration of only sodium, that is 281. The first orbit has 2 electrons, the second orbit has 8 electrons, and the third orbit has 1 electron. Okay, but I have told you sodium, earlier I told you that sodium, it donates its electron while forming the compound, that is NaCl. So after losing that or after donating that electron, the electronic configuration of sodium becomes only 2,8, and it has now only two orbits. The first orbit it consists of 2 electrons, the second one it has 8 electrons. Okay, clear with sodium now? The next element which forms the compound NaCl is the chlorine. Now chlorine has the electronic configuration that is 2, 8 and 7. The first orbit has 2 electrons, the second orbit has 8 electrons, and the third orbit has 7 electrons. Got it? Now what does it do? It receives 1 electron from sodium. It receives 1 electron from sodium during this chemical reaction, And now see the next peak. The next peak, which is the second one, middle one, and it shows the arrow. Cl minus, earlier it was 287, now it is 288. Now it is 288. That means it has received 1 electron, and now its electronic configuration has become 288. Now in this way, the sodium and likewise 281, and here 287. The third peak. When sodium gives 1 electron, it is gained by chlorine, and then the new ions are formed. Ions are formed. That means they get clubbed together, and a new compound, that is NaCl, is formed, and with an ionic bond. Again, if you will go through this peak, same I have shown here, but it is somewhat more clear. You can understand. It is the same. In the last peak, it was given one by one, and here I have taken one peak so that you can understand clearly. See here, the left side, sodium, it is having, in the last shell, it is having only 1 electron. It is giving that electron to chlorine, and this blue dot will go up to chlorine, and in this way, only 2 shell will remain with sodium, and 3 shell will be formed in chlorine, and its electronic configuration will become like this: 2, 8. It is donating an electron, and chlorine is accepting the electron. So the configuration of electron sodium becomes like this. After donating, the final ionic bond is formed downside, and the new compound, that is NaCl, is formed. NaCl is formed. Sodium and chlorine atom forms the Na plus cation and Cl minus anion. As a result, NaCl is formed. The outermost shell of the sodium in the second peak. Outermost shell of the sodium and the chlorine atom is not a complete octet in the first peak. In the first peak, the orbits are 3, 2, 8, and 1, and here 2, 8, and 7. In sodium it is only 1, and in chlorine it is only 7. So it is an incomplete octet. It is an incomplete octet. Octet means what? Octet, octagon, octopus. Why an octopus is called as octopus? Because it has 8 legs. Why a figure is called as octagon? Because it has 8 sides. So likewise, here octet is called as, the outermost shell is called as octet. When it is called as an octet? When it has 8 electrons in the outermost orbit. So in the second peak, however, after forming the ionic bond, both the sodium and chlorine ion is a complete octet now. Both they have 8 and 8 electron. And such an ionic bond, such a electronic configuration which the sodium and chlorine possess, after forming the compound, these compounds are said to be in stable state. They are stable because both octet are same for sodium also and same for chlorine also. Further, an ionic bond is formed between the oppositely charged Na plus and Cl minus ion, and therefore an ionic compound is formed, that is NaCl, and it is having a very high stability when it gets formed. I hope you may have understood it. Next topic is the dissociation of ionic compound. Dissociation of ionic compound. Now, what is dissociation? You may have come through the word association most of the time. Association means to come together, and dissociation means to move away from each other. Dissociation means to move away from each other. So what dissociation is going on here in this topic? Ions are getting disassociated of the compound. The ions of the compound are getting disassociated. Now, when does it happen? On dissolving in water, an ionic compound forms an aqueous solution. Suppose, let us take the example only. See here now. Very easy example, or our daily example, we can say. but we cannot see such molecules are forming such water and green color, nothing like this. We don't find anyway. This way we don't find in our daily course. Suppose sometimes we need to take water mixed with sugar also and mixed with salt also, but this picture is not from there. But actually, it does get happen. It does get happen. What is happening here? On dissolving in water. Now salt is dissolving in water, and ionic compound. Who was the ionic compound? NaCl was the ionic compound. NaCl, you can see on the top, okay, the salt is being dusted or salt is being added in the water. The solution which is formed, it is called as an aqueous solution. The solution which is getting formed, it is called an aqueous solution in the solid state. When the salt is in solid state, the oppositely charged, it is having Na plus and Cl minus. They were oppositely charged, and thus they were having a ionic. Thus it was called an ionic compound, and they were sitting side by side, the Na plus and Cl minus. When an ionic compound begins to dissolve, now salt is started dissolving. The water molecules push themselves in between the ions of the compound and separate them from each other. The water, what does it do? The water push themselves, the water molecules push themselves in between the ions, in between the sodium and the chlorine ions. That is to say, an ionic compound dissociates. That is to say, an ionic compound, the ionic compound is NaCl. NaCl is getting dissociates, and it is forming an ionic compound. Okay, it is forming an ionic compound. This big is from your textbook only 5.2. Each of the dissociated ion in the aqueous solution is surrounded by water molecules. You can see here. The light blue color one is the water, and this green and the black ones are the sodium and chlorine ions. The ions break away from the dissolving crystal. NaCl is soluble in water. Yes, salt is soluble in water. Sugar is also soluble in water. Solid NaCl. Sometimes, many times before, you may have not seen also that type of salt. Earlier, even today also, in our villages, the solid form, the solid or large lumps of salt is used. And in cities, we don't use it. In cities, we don't use it. We use the powdered one. Though it is in solid state only, it is also in solid state only. But for your understanding, I'm telling you, in our village side, even today also, the people, most of the people, they use the lump of salts, lump, and they're in solution. So solid NaCl dissociates into Na plus and Cl minus ions. Yes, no. In aqueous solution. If you want to represent this chemical reaction symbolically by using the formulas or the symbols or molecular formula, it will be like here. NaCl, it was solid. NaCl was salt. NaCl was salt and it was solid. What does it give after dissociation? What are the ions formed in the aqueous? What are the ions formed in the aqueous solution? That is the Na plus cation, sodium only, and the aqueous solution Na plus and Cl minus ions that are formed. In the next pic, you can see clearly when the salt get completely dissolved. Little of the ions, that is the Cl and Na left over there, but in the second pic, it is been completely dissolved. Not totally we can say, but almost it is dissolved, and very few many few particles of the salt is left over there. So this was dissociation of ionic compound. I hope you may have understood this association of ionic compound. That is the very best example which we can do is which we can perform the activity is the substance salt and sugar. Okay. Now, next topic is the Arrhenius theory of acid and bases. Arrhenius theory. Now, the pic which you are looking here is of a Sweden scientist, Sir Arrhenius. Sir Arrhenius, he was born in the year 1959 and he died in the year 1927. So, but in the year 1887, he put forth a theory. He put forth the theory of acids and bases. He put forth a theory of acids and bases in the year 1887, and this theory gives the definition of acids and bases. Okay, what are actually acids and bases? So, and he's a Nobel Prize winner. Though the pick is not given in your book, but I have done for you. Sir Arrhenius has put forth a theory which defined acids and bases. Okay. Now let us see the definition of acids. An acid is a substance which on dissolving in water give rise to H plus ion as the only cations. An acid, an acid is the substance which on dissolving in water, which on dissolving in water, which on dissolving in water give rise to H plus ions as the only cations. We know that H plus, they are the cations are positively charged. The cations are the positively charged one. So what is an acid? The acid, it is an, when dissolved in water, it gives rise to H plus ions as the only cations. For example, HCl. HCl you can give on dissolving in water. HCl is in the gaseous form. That's why it is written G there. And when dissolving in water, or when you mix the HCl with water, it gives H plus as the only cation, though the solution form is the aqueous one, and as well as with it, it gives the chlorine ions also. Second, one more reaction is the H2SO4. H2SO4, this is a sulfuric acid. This is also again one acid. When it is dissolved in water, again, this acid, we have seen the definition. Now we are seeing the definition in the form of this chemical reaction. When this acid, it is a liquid only, and when it is dissolved in water, again it gives H plus as the only ion, and the remaining whatever part it is HSO4, and that is also an aqueous solution. One thing we must remember about acid is that we should never add water to the acid. Suppose in the chemical laboratory also, when we are having acid in some test tube or in some beaker, we should never add water in the acid, because when we add water in the acid, it gives out dangerous heat, which could be dangerous for us, dangerous. So always we should add water, acid to the water. Okay. Now examples of acid, very familiar examples: vinegar, which we use in our daily Chinese recipes, or many of the cuisines. Then lemon juice, orange juice, your curd, tamarind, which you like very much. Tamarind you may be buying out from outside of your school. It is colored, and it is sometimes added sugar to it, and you taste it very nicely and go to your home. Amla, yes, black tea, apple juice, unripe mango, this also we like very much, and grapes. These are all the examples of acid, common examples of acids. Another also, see here. Now just now I have given you the examples of acids, but now the source of acid. If we take us lemon, which we use daily, it consists of citric acid. Tomatoes, they consist of oxalic acid. Grapes, they consist of tartaric acid. Tamarind also consists of tartaric acid. Milk, which you daily drink, that is the lactic acid. And ant. Most of the time, or sometimes, the ant stings you, and you feel a burning sensation over there. So that is about the formic acid. Okay. Next is the apple juice also. Apple fizz you may be drinking so much. So it consists of malic acid, and vinegar, it consists of the acetic acid. Okay. Names of the acid. Again, the same thing is here. The list of various acid is given, and some different one I will read out for you. Hydrochloric. When our digestion takes place, hydrochloric acid get mixed with it, and sometimes if we feel acidity, there is an excess amount of HCl. So at that time we suffer from acidity. Sulfuric acid in car batteries, nitric acid in explosives. Likewise, carbonic acid in your sodas, your Thumbs Up, Coca-Cola, whatever. And other one I told you recently. Okay. So these were about the acid. Now, earlier I told you, Sir Arrhenius has put forth a theory about to put forth the theory to define the acids and bases. So here's the definition of bases. What are the bases? A base is a substance which on dissolving in water give rise to OH minus ions as the only anions. We know anions are negatively charged, and therefore the base is a substance. The base are the substances which on dissolving in water. We'll take some examples, you will get your concept clear, which on dissolving in water give rise to OH minus ions as the only anions. Example is the NaOH, that is sodium hydroxide. Now the definition comes in the form of chemical reaction. This is the base, sodium hydroxide. If you take it as a solid, on dissolving in water, it will give Na plus aqueous solution and mainly OH minus anions. OH minus anions. Examples of base. Examples of base. Examples of bases. Very common. Detergent. The detergent, the Surf Excel or the Tide powder or the washing powder Nirma. Likewise, baking soda. Baking soda which we use in our making bhajias and all, and cakes also. Drain cleaner, bleaching powder like antacid, base, ammonia soaps. Ammonia soap like our hand wash or dishwashing bar, lime water, and the milk of magnesia. Milk of magnesia is not our common milk. It is the inorganic compound. It occurs in nature and it is in solid form. Actually, it is a mineral. Milk of magnesia, it is a mineral, brucite, and it is in solid form. Then it is melted and then the milk is formed. Name of the bases. Again, here same thing we are going to repeat. Sodium hydroxide in soaps and drain cleaner. Magnesium hydroxide. Milk of magnesia contains magnesium hydroxide only. Antacids, aluminum hydroxide, again the deodorants, antacids. Calcium hydroxide, lime water, and ammonium hydroxide, window cleaner. Magnesium hydroxide, again milk of magnesia. Ammonium hydroxide, ammonia, common base. It is a common name. Now next is the classification of the acids and the bases. Okay. Now the classification of the acids and the bases, they consist of, it consists of the strong acids and the weak acids. Okay. What are strong acids? On dissolving in water, strong acid dissociate almost completely and the resulting aqueous solution contains H plus ions and the acidic radical. Again, if you go through in your textbook also, you will find this. Strong acids on dissolving in water, strong acid dissociate completely, like NaCl. But in NaCl, some cations and anions were left. But the strong acid, it dissociates completely in water, and whatever the aqueous solution it is formed, it contains mainly H plus ions and the acidic radical. Here the example of the strong acids are the HCl, HBr, HNO3. HCl is the hydrochloric acid, HBr is the hydrochloric acid or hydrogen bromide, and HNO3 is the nitric acid. So when on dissolving, the H gets totally away from the acidic radical, that is the Cl1. In this you can see here clearly. See here, a strong acid. The first peak is only useful for you. The first peak, it is a strong acid such as the HCl, it dissociates completely. Clearly you can see that. H plus Cl minus, H plus Cl minus. Now the next one was the weak acid. Here you can see the example which we are going in the next peak is the weak acid. The weak acid does not dissociate completely. See here, only 2-3 sides you can find out here, H plus and HCO3. One H is went there, so here left HCO3. So the next one is the weak acid. Just now I have shown the peak. It does not dissociate completely, and the solution contains H plus ions and acidic radical in small quantity along with large quantity of undissociated molecules. Undissociated means which one? Completely. H2CO3. Undissociated will be H2CO3 completely. And dissociated one will be like H plus will get separated, and remaining which acidic radical, it would contain HCO3. In the example, we can see a weak acid is the acetic acid. Weak acid is the acetic acid. Now, likewise, same. The definition will also be same for in this case also. Classification of bases. Earlier we have seen classification of acids. Here we are going to see classification of bases. First one is the strong bases and second one is the weak bases. What are strong bases? Same. All the words are same, but only two words are there. The changing one there, that is the base and acid. Let us have a look on it. Strong base, on dissolving in water, strong base dissociate completely. Like in case of strong acid, they also dissolve completely in the water, and the resulting aqueous solution contains OH minus ions and the basic radical. When you study this, you take both the definitions, and clearly you will find that there are only particular words which are replaced. In case of acids, you will find HCl, H plus ion, Cl acidic radical. In case of basic strong base, you will find Na, the cation form, and OH minus ion, the basic radical. Again, we'll repeat it once more. On dissolving in water, strong base dissociates completely. The Na plus get dissociated and the OH, they both get separated. And resulting aqueous solution contains OH ions, minus ions, and the basic radical. These are the examples. NaOH, KOH, and COH. Twice that NaOH is sodium hydroxide, KOH is potassium hydroxide, and CaOH twice is calcium hydroxide. All these are the strong bases. Next one is the weak bases. They do not dissolve completely. Same the case of weak acid. And the resulting aqueous solution contains small quantity of OH minus ions and the basic radicals along with them. But in a large quantity of undissociated molecule of the base. Like it does not, weak base does not dissolve completely, and the resulting aqueous solution contains small quantity of OH minus ion and basic radical along with large quantity of undissociated molecules of the base. I hope you may have understood it. Example for the weak base is NH4OH. It is ammonium sulfate. It is ammonium sulfate. It is an weak base. It is a weak base. The next part is the alkali. Alkali, ALKALI. Alkalis are nothing but the bases only. Alkalis are nothing but the bases only. When we'll go through the definition, this can be asked in your exams or it is given in your exercise. Alkalis are bases which are highly soluble in water. The bases which are highly soluble in water are called as alkali. We have gone through this NaOH, sodium hydroxide, KOH, potassium hydroxide, and NH3 is ammonia. Okay? The bases which are highly soluble, which bases? NaOH and KOH. You can say strong base also to them. The bases which are highly soluble in water are called alkali. For example, NaOH, that is sodium hydroxide, KOH, it is the potassium hydroxide, NH3 is ammonia. Here, NaOH and KOH. NaOH means sodium hydroxide, KOH means potassium hydroxide. They are the strong alkalis, the strong bases, while NaOH, that is ammonia, it is a weak alkali. Okay? Basicity and acidity of compounds. different compounds. The next topic is basicity and acidity of compounds. This table, it is taken from your textbook only. It is given in your textbook only. What we have to do, very simple. You can do it by yourself. You can do it by yourself. I will tell you now also. And if you are carrying your textbooks with you all, you can fill it with pencil also. How we are going to complete this table? First line you can see acid, number of H plus ions obtained from one molecule. The first one is HCl. The first one is HCl. How many number of H plus ions cations will get from HCl? Only one. You will write there the number one. Second one is the HNO3 nitric acid. You will write there again one. In the third one, H2SO4. How many H plus ion are obtained? H plus cations are obtained? 2. In the fourth one is also 2. Fifth one, 3. Sixth one, 3. And seventh one also 3. How many H plus cations we are getting? That is the number which I have given you. Bases, number of OH ions obtained from one molecule of sodium hydroxide, potassium hydroxide, calcium hydroxide, likewise barium hydroxide. NaOH, you will get only one. Again, KOH, you will get only one. But in calcium hydroxide, that is CaOH twice, you will get 2 ions of OH. Also in barium hydroxide, you will get 2. In aluminum hydroxide, you will get 3 OH, it is thrice. In ferric hydroxide also, you will get 3. And in the last one, that is the ammonium sulfate, you will get only 1. I hope you can do it. Now we are going through the basicity and acidity of acids. Basicity of acids, and this is the first topic. We were going through basicity and acidity. Now, what is basicity of acids? Basicity of acids. The number of H plus ions obtainable. Earlier, what we have seen in the table, we were obtaining the number of H plus ion from a single molecule of different compound. So, the definition form of that compound, the number of H plus ions obtained by the dissociation of one molecule of an acid is called its base. Take the example of HCl. HCl, we are dissociating HCl. And how many H plus ion we are getting? Whatever the number would be. So, what is basicity of acids? The number of H plus ions obtainable by the dissociation of one molecule of an acid is called its basicity. Okay. Next one is the acidity of bases. Acidity of the bases. The number of OH negative ions obtainable by the dissociation of one molecule of a base is called its acidity. Again, if you will compare both the definition for your understanding purpose, when you will compare it, you will clearly understand when you keep the table in front of you of your, if you're taking the screenshot of this, no need for screenshot. You just follow your textbook. Just follow your textbook also. So you can understand when you compare the number of OH minus ions obtainable by the dissociation of one molecule of a base is called its acidity. Same when we have gone through that table in the second part, that was the number of OH minus ion obtained by a single molecule. So the definition comes over here. The number of OH ions obtainable by the dissociation of one molecule of a base is called its acidity. I hope you may have understood this. Okay, and so I think we can stop over here. And this topic is enough for today's lecture. And if you'll go just through all these definitions only, you can cover almost one third part of the chapter simply by the definitions only. Simply by the definitions only. We have gone through various definitions like acids, bases, definitions of the acids and the bases, the uses of the acid, the sources of the acid, the sources of bases and uses of bases. then their definition, then the strong acid, then the weak acids, then the strong bases and the weak bases. And um, after it, we have also seen this part. What you are looking on the screen is basicity and acidity of bases and acids. Likewise. So I hope it is quite good for today now. Okay, we shall stop over here only, and let us come to our next part. That is our evaluation part. That is our evaluation part. Just give me 2-3 seconds. I will give you evaluation. Okay, this is our evaluation part. This is our evaluation part. Very easy. Whatever we have learned just now, I have reminded you all okay, what topics we have covered today here. But I have given you some questions here to be recapped throughout the lesson. It is very simple. You can see on the screen. Answer the following questions. First, it is you have to define some acids, or you have to define the word particularly acids. You may be knowing it, or you can simply find out from your text also. And next is the bases, and third is the alkalis. Alkali. Again, the next question for you is the give some examples of strong acids. Here you can give the example of HCl, HBr, H2SO4. These are the strong acids, and the weak bases. We have now this question, if you go through the textbook, you will find only one example over there, that is NH4OH, which I have also given you here. That is the NH4OH. But I could have been able to give you some more, but I have kept for your part this, so that you can find some other names of the weak bases. And if we are not able, but I hope my students are very good and they can find out, and they will get the answer. So one example is the ammonium hydroxide, that is NH4OH, and the second would it is up to you, because this is your part. No, I have done my part, and now this is your part. And so finally and lastly, thank you. Have a good day. Enjoy the rain. Enjoy your crispy samosas and bhajias, and don't trouble your parents. Be cooperative. Study well. Stay safe. The most important thing for today is stay safe and follow the norms of social distancing. Take care of yourself. Bye. Goodbye.